In East Asia, tensions are on the rise. It's China versus Japan. It started as a diplomatic row. The trigger was a remark in Tokyo, but now it's snowballing into a full-fledged showdown. It is now spilled into daily life in both countries, with governments hardening their positions, travelers changing their plans, airlines counting their losses, cinemas adjusting their schedules, and diplomats making urgent trips. All of this is happening over one question. And what is that question? What happens if there is a crisis in the Taiwan Strait? That was a question. Japan answered it. China did not like it. Hence the meltdown. Earlier this month, Japan's parliament discussed this hypothetical crisis. What if China attacked Taiwan? What would Japan do if China attacked Taiwan? Their new Prime Minister, Senator Takaichi, gave a response. Listen in.
If China were to deploy battleships and involve the use of force, I believe this could be deemed a situation threatening Japan's survival.
That phrase, a threat to Japan's survival, is not routine. It is a legal term in Japan's security framework. It opens the door to Japan using force in extreme cases. So the remark carried a lot of weight, and it marked a clear shift, a shift in how openly Japanese leaders now speak about Taiwan. Beijing's response came quickly. It summoned the Japanese envoy. It demanded that Prime Minister Takaichi retract her remarks. They said her words violated the One China principle. Beijing said Tokyo was damaging bilateral ties. Today, senior officials from both sides met in Beijing. China says it has lodged, and I'm quoting, it has lodged a strong protest.
Takaichi's fallacies seriously violated the basic norms of international law and international relations and seriously undermined the post-war international order. It seriously violates the One China principle and the spirit of the four political documents between China and Japan and fundamentally damages the political foundation of Sino-Japanese relations.
Tokyo has pushed back against this, but it's also being careful. It says Takaichi's comments do not change Japan's official policy. And what is that policy? The One China policy. There's One China and its government is in Beijing. That is Japan's policy. It's been in place since 1972. But here's the catch. Japan also maintains working ties with Taiwan. Taiwan is self-governed with its own constitution, its own military and its own currency. Its political status is complex. Most countries in the world do not recognize Taiwan as a separate nation. Japan, too, does not officially support Taiwan's independence, but it also opposes any change in the status quo by force. This balancing act has guided Japan for decades. So when Tokyo says nothing has changed, it means this balance still holds. But China is upset, and it wants to make its displeasure felt. So it issued a travel warning against Japan. It told Chinese citizens to avoid traveling to Japan. Why? Because the remarks from Tokyo had created quote-unquote safety risks. That's what Beijing said. There are safety risks, so don't go to Japan. And the impact was immediate. Chinese airlines began offering full refunds. Chinese passengers cancelled their trips in large numbers. Reports say nearly 500,000 tickets. 500,000 tickets have been cancelled in just a few days. On some days, cancellations outnumbered new bookings by 27 times. And sure enough, Japan felt the blow. Because Chinese tourists are among their biggest spenders. Tourism and retail stocks in Tokyo fell sharply yesterday. In response, Japan issued its own safety advisory. It asked Japanese nationals to avoid large gatherings. It also told them to be on alert. And it raised a formal protest in Beijing today. It told China that the travel warning was excessive. But China refuses to budge. It has also postponed the release of 2 Japanese movies. It says the public sentiment has shifted. So one remark on Taiwan, and you have disruptions in travel and entertainment. It has also spilled into security signals. Their militaries are making aggressive moves. It's mostly posturing at this point, but none of this bodes well for the region. China flips every time a country mentions Taiwan. All because Xi Jinping has made it his personal political mission. He wants to control Taiwan. He's not ruled out the use of force if needed, and he won't entertain questions, even hypothetical ones.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. First Post reveals their truth.